I think we are rolling. Hopefully, we're gonna check and make sure because if you haven't been here before, I'm really bad at this. But that's okay. We have a lot of fun, or at least I have a lot of fun. I don't know if other people have fun listening to me talk and be obnoxious. And yep, it looks like everything's good. That is my deal. My kids are here today still. They have told me they're going to go outside, and they're going to play outside for an hour while I do this, which is wonderful. They're good kids. They really are. You know, kids they like to, you know, they just like to be loud, and they're just kids. So, but it is better for us and what we do if I can get them to go, you know, be loud somewhere else. Because boy, they get loud. But they're awesome. They're all really awesome. Well, my oldest doesn't get that loud anymore. He did when he was younger. It's definitely something about the age, you know. They just is an age where you're just loud and a kid, you know. I'm still loud, and I still sometimes act like a kid. I mean, look at me now. I play with toys for, I guess for a living. I don't really make any money doing this. Maybe I will one day. That's kind of the dream, right? You get to a point where you're making money on the YouTubes, and they're paying for you. You get that sweet advertisement revenue and all that stuff. But you know, for now, we're just gonna paint for the few folks that have been coming to see us. I know there's a few of you out there, so that's awesome. Probably friends of mine, which is great. I love you guys. Good friends. I have lots of great friends. And hopefully we've got some people that maybe tune into us that I don't definitely know personally on a level. And you know, if not, then that's gonna come. Maybe not today. Maybe it's not tomorrow, but it'll come. Maybe next week. Maybe next year. We don't know. I'm gonna post some stuff real fast right here to Facebook. Maybe we can get some people to jump on, and then we're gonna get away, and away with it we go. Ugh, this stuff always takes so long. I found that, like, I read, I haven't found because it hasn't worked yet, but they say if you share like right when you go live, you can get people on. And share often, share a lot, blah 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 blah. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so yesterday we got our 3 circus performers pretty much finished up. I was gonna check Vasily's face. I do think maybe he needs just a touch up here to bring out his face a little bit better. I want him to look dirty, but maybe he's just a little too dirty looking right now, because, you know, he's not that dirty. Anywho, well, I'm in a pretty decent mood today. I hope everybody else is. It's been a fun adventure day, so, you know, you never know what's going to happen when you're out on the Facebooks and participating in the menagerie that is public forums. Always amusing. Alright, so we're just gonna try to just kinda want to bring him out. He's a little paler than the other guys too, so we can definitely make him a little bit brighter. We don't want to take away too much of the edge where the shadows need to be, but like I said, we can do a little bit of work and bring him out just a bit. We don't want him to look too dirty. He seemed like the kind of guy that would try to wash himself pretty often anyway, for those of you who have seen the movie. This paint will probably look a little strange going on at first, but it will dry out and it will look good when it does dry all the way out. it'll start to even itself down and it'll look great. Just make sure you're pulling your brush strokes together the same direction and kind of let the model handle a lot of that work for you. And he's almost there. I think we need just a little bit more work on his cheeks. Deep do 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 do. Yep. I try to have a pretty good time when I'm painting. It's usually I'm listening to stuff. It's kind of funny to not have something playing while I'm working. I really need to look into like what I can actually play and get away with. I hear that there's like a radio station I can use. It's like a Facebook radio, but I don't know how to make that work. So we're gonna figure it. We'll have to figure that out later. So, anywho, so strange. I never know what's working and what's not working and how things are working. Hopefully, it's all looking good. Maybe I need a producer. I should make one of these kids do it. They're good. My older son occasionally helps me out on stuff, and he's usually pretty solid. But this, I think I've said this before, this really isn't right, like his kind of thing. Here comes my tappy toe dog. Hello, Pupper. Hello, Pupper. Hello, Pupper. She's funny. She's a fun dog. Yeah, we're gonna kind of leave our ears alone that we had set up yesterday. I think we're looking pretty good here. I need to bring that eye. I think I misstroked right there, just a touch. So I need just the thinnest wisp of that brown. And again, that's this brown we're using for a lot of these back end colors is raw umber. I don't use a lot of the prescribed acrylics, because I do a lot of other projects. So besides just this, I do all sorts of other art things. And before I was a chef, so I have the oh, Papa. She's still here. I don't have anything to give her. She probably wants treats. I don't have any treats. Do you need to go outside or something? Did the kids not take you out? Well, I can't help them. I can't help you. I can't. She's such a sweet dog, though. And in and out they go. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that guy. So, again, we got to figure out those bases. I haven't decided if I want to paint the bases like maybe paint them back to the color they are as a game piece for the game that it's supposed to be with. Because there was oh shoot, how to explain this? Oh, the bottom of the bases, all the pieces actually came in a particular color, so I had painted them black to add these other things on top of them. And so I'm kind of wondering if I should anyway, I just got a weird message. I'm not maintaining enough video to smooth stream. I have no idea what that means. YouTube is not. I don't know. It looks like it's running just fine to me. That is strange. I'm not going to worry about that. It looks like everything's okay. If there's anybody who's watching it right now and it's not doing okay, if you have my phone number, text me. I'm not giving my phone number out over the internet, but you know. So, okay, we were talking about Mr. Humperdinck here, and I said we were gonna go. That's a bad habit too. Don't put your brushes in your mouth. I do it all the time. It's a really bad habit. So I think I'm gonna go with the base coat. We're gonna Windsor Violet. It's kind of like a gray, purple, and almost it's like a little red in it. This is like a little bit blue. We might go with something a little less blue and more magenta on the next one and add a gray to it when we come over the top coat of it. But I think for the deep dark of it, I'm going to go ahead and use this darker purple just to as the base coat, because it'll help us, you know, as we work up our layers, we'll get the color to come up to where we want it to be. And oh goodness, and that's what we're trying to do. So anyway, we're adding this one to the palette today. It is Windsor Violet by Windsor and Newton. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Windsor Violet doesn't make it to mean there. It's only their violet. That's funny. Okay. Well, that's funny to me. I'm a goofball. What are we gonna do? All right, so here we go. He's an ugly looking mug. He's got that big ridiculous crown. And that's the thing. I was looking at the source material and like when he's wearing that crown, he's red. But then Buttercup's red. And I don't really want them to be like the exact same piece. You know, don't look like it's all her in red, him in red, and Wesley in black. It looks weird. And the other one is I could have done the blue one where he's getting married, but I felt like Andre's gray is a little bit bluish, and we've got another, you know, he's kind of got a bluish gray, and I don't really want to do that again. I thought we'd bring a whole nother color in here, and his base was purple. We were talking about that yesterday. So here we go, make it purple. Again, I'm always like, go in the other room and bark. Go in the other room and bark. Go in the other room and bark. I don't want you barking. Go in the other room and bark. Go. She just wants to come in here and bark. Oh my goodness. It was just a mail truck. They didn't even come in our driveway. It's so funny. Yes, yes, woof, woof. This does look more like that scene where he's in the other one, but we can go ahead and make this purple. It'll be all right. And right now we're just dropping some base coats on this. And I suppose you could just paint it any color you really want it to. I mean, if I remember right, Princess Bride is actually a book before it was a movie. So, I wonder what the color was in the book. I wonder if it even had a color in the book. I never read the book. I don't even know that I know anybody who has. I probably do know somebody who has read the book. I know a lot of people that are very into The Princess Bride, so I'm sure I know somebody out there that has read this book. But I know I haven't read this book, so I don't really know. I just know that I know what I know from the, you know, the movies of it and stuff. I like the purple though. It's gonna look good with purple. And it'll help the game piece stand out on the board, and that's kind of what we want. Base coating's fun. It's so easy and smooth. Get rid of that cat hair. Funny thing about this purple against this black is, like, once this purple ends up drying out, it's pretty dark. So you're like barely going to be able to see it. And sometimes I wonder if I do this stuff just like out of my some sort of psychosis. Like, oh, you know, you have to do it this way because this is what makes it look right. And I'm just fooling myself, and I don't believe it. But Then I try to do it the other way, and it always does come out just a little bit wrong. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't quite sell it, does it? So there is, while you can make a very fine model, you know, just kind of throwing down a little bit of base coat and then hitting it with a wash and then just going on. Or just, you know, what was that I've seen the other day? Somebody just, all they were doing was zenithal highlights and then dropping a speed colors on them, which seemed like a really great idea. Like if you were doing like a bunch of, oh, you're going to do a bunch of things in an army. Yeah, great. Boom, done. Have that done fast. So like, that's pretty cool. But like this particular one, these guys are for this game. It's going to be just me and my friends that come over. I have friends that come over and play games. Usually it's D&D. But sometimes we play other games. And so it'd be fun just to have these guys whip them out. Like, oh, yeah. Let's play Princess Bride. It'll be fun. Yep. We're going to be getting together Sunday for the New Year's Eve. I'm going to cook some Spanish food. It'll be tasty. It'll be exciting. I get to use my, I have a propane paella deal. It's going to be really fun to use. I don't know, make a whole bunch of paella and some tapas. And, yeah. To pop by Mediterranean ports. If you live in Oklahoma City and you want to get some cool stuff from cool Mediterranean food, olives, cheeses, some cured sausage, cured meats and stuff like that, pop by there and take a look. They do great stuff over there. You can also find some cool stuff over at La Baguette too, if you know where that is. That is over on May as well, I believe. I believe they're both on May, up on the north side of the city. All right. I think we need to add just a little bit of black to the very back of that one, because that is way too bright. Same thing right here. We need to add black back to it to fade it in. And maybe right here in this part here, let's go ahead and put a little black in there. Yeah. Okay. He's kind of purple. You can hardly tell on the camera, but you can tell sitting there looking at him that he's got purple on him. Definitely more purple than he was before he started painting him. Alright, so he's got boots, pants, lots of gold, lots of flesh. Okay. Switch over to 0.4 from the 0.3. Or 0/3 to 0/4, whatever. I swear sometimes the brush companies make it different. Like one brush says one and one brush says the other. And it's like, it's not. It's like it's not the same thing, but it is the same thing. I don't know. I don't really know what the difference between like a 0/0/0/0 brush and a 3/0 brush is sometimes. Because like you'll look at it and you're like, is that the same thing? And then you paint with them and you're like, ooh, it's not exactly the same thing. It's close. Paintbrush is always just kind of what works best for you and the situation. You guys said this in the when we were dealing with the witch. We were talking about brushes and stuff. That you just kind of, what brush works for you is really the brush you want. So you're like, oh, well, I like this really hard bristle of a synthetic brush. That's cool. That's, if that's what you need and that works for you and what you're doing, awesome. Do it. Use that. If it's a different one, then that's cool too. Use that one. I like these softer ones. I didn't used to. I used to like a little stiffer brush, but now I really enjoy the feel of a real sable now. And I've gotten a little bit better about keeping brushes wet and keeping them maintained properly and only using certain parts of it. And yeah. So that's fun. It's an interesting conversation, I suppose. There's a really cool video by, oh god, what is that guy's name? Goobertown Hobbies. And I don't remember the name of the gentleman who I think I want to call him Mark because he looks like a friend of mine that's named Mark. But anyway, I digress. He does a lot of cool stuff where he like put microscope on different paint brushes and different bristles and stuff like that. It was a really cool video. So you should totally check that out. Especially if you're like just now getting into painting and you're just now learning about kind of what different things are. He's like really good at kind of describing, hey, this does this and this does this, and I like it for this, and I like this for this. And it's not in like a, I don't know, sometimes people, and I'm guilty of this myself, people get a little bit, trashy on things where they can just be a little bit, I don't know. You know how we are as humans. We just kind of get a little bit talking too much smack on something that we don't agree with. I try not to be that guy all the time. I try to be that guy at all, but like, I think it's kind of a little bit of human nature, or maybe it's a societal thing. But everybody kind of does it a little bit from time to time. Just kind of start getting a little bit. Oh, good Lord. Somebody is here in my driveway. This is strange. No one ever comes here. Oh, it's Diego. It's our friend Diego. Oh, he's running. He's got to go. I don't know. He brought us something. Anyway, that is one of our friends, Diego. I do see him occasionally. He owns a lawn service. If you need a lawn service, let me know, and I'll put you in contact with Diego. If you live in Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma County. If you don't, I'm pretty sure Diego, I mean, he's probably not going to drive to Michigan or whatever, or, to mow lawns. I don't know. I'm usually a pretty good promoter of my friends, though. Like, if you've got business, if it's my friend's business, I'm definitely gonna be like, oh, hey, yeah, I know this guy. He does this thing. Go see his thing. Because to me, that's just the way it should be. And if that person changes their business, you should support that other business too. That's one of those weird things where, like, oh, some people, they're that fair weather friend where they support you when you're doing one thing, but then you move over to something else and they don't necessarily give you the same kind of support. And you're like, oh yeah, but you were my friend. What happened? I was busy, or this, man. Yeah, it's funny. And some friends will stick with you no matter what. So a little purple. We're definitely going to have to lighten that up later. We're going to have to get out like real gold for him. What color was his hair? I don't remember what color his hair was. I believe it was like a brown. I did save a picture of it, because I knew we would be here. Yeah, this outfit will work. This outfit's gonna work out great for what we're doing. No, do not delete that photo. Right? So like that's gonna work out great. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the dark in. That's coated down. The next one we're gonna it really does look like it's a little bit maybe a little bit of red in there. More like of a magenta purple. So, and his hair is definitely a brown color. Okay. Got like a horn and stuff on him. I don't know if that's his hunter's horn, isn't it? Definitely not packing that in this. He's got a dagger and a sword. It looks like... Okay. We'll probably make those sleeves any color we want. He is royal, so maybe just give him like white. Be like, you can actually put a little bit of white on him. That's that deceptiveness. Where he's at, you think he's all pure and innocent because of the white on the inside. But he's not. He's Prince Humperdinck. Hopefully I haven't spoiled anything. If you still haven't seen this movie, we're like in like part 5 of this still, and like you totally need to see this movie. It would definitely help all of this make a lot more sense if you'd seen the movie. Something like there have been several little jokes and stuff in here that hopefully some of the folks that have seen this movie got and found hilarious. It would be funny if we could have some Skaven pieces to go with them, so we could put them in as the rodents of unusual size. I have like a bunch of different Skaven little like rat guys. I have a bunch of those. We really want to be careful here. Adding this white to where we want everything to stay dark. We can come back and touch it up, but the more you have to touch stuff up, the more it's possible for you to make a different mistake entirely while you're touching up, and then you got to go touch up the touch up, and then it just snowballs. So if you can get it in there right the first time, it's a whole lot better. And that comes with practice too. Like if you're just starting out using a paintbrush, you haven't really painted before, or heck, if you just never really used your hands for much of this kind of work, this kind of precision work in general, it can take a little while to get where you're proficient at it. So don't down on yourself too much. Everybody's got to start somewhere. So, oh, actually, I have some models of somebody that this was definitely someone starting somewhere. I bought these models cheap, and this is totally not a bag on whoever made them, but like you can tell these were starter paint jobs. Like they'd never painted before. So these are mine. There's somebody else painted these. So these are like starter paint jobs, and you can just tell that they were learning. You know, they tried some cool stuff, little blood things and stuff like that. So that's fun. But I got them like way cheap. For one of my sons plays a Space Marine Army. He plays Spaceballs. So I got those on the cheap, so we could turn them into Spaceballs. As if you know anything about Citadel, they're very expensive models. So when they could either go to his one, or I have an army too, which when the table gets rolling, I have a Space Marine Army from the Leviathan set that we're gonna paint. But I'm gonna let once we're gonna gotta get some viewers in so that we can get we can get people to vote on what to make the army. Because I think I've been back and forth on what I'm gonna make it, and then I've decided that I'm gonna let everybody on the channel decide what we're gonna paint it. But we gotta get some people in for that first. So we may be sitting on that army for a little while, which is great. I got Tyranids to paint. I already have their color scheme done. I know what I'm going to do with them, and I'll be painting those soon. We actually need to start talking about what we're going to paint after this. Okay, let's see. I like the idea of that Payne's gray for his pants. That's the blue gray that I like to use. I'm probably thinking about this because I'm thinking about Space Wolves, because I'm thinking about my boy, his army. But you got a tiny little pantaloon sticking out from under here, and it'd be good to have a real, like a lighter gray color like this to kind of break it up, and then we can come back with a dark brown on the boots or a black with the boots, and it'll look fantastic. And we have that break. Color breaks are important, especially in your scheming designs for colors. You want to make sure that you've got an ability to break up your colors here and there, or it starts to look like it's all one thing, and that gets super boring. So anyway, we've now been painting with these golden maples for a while, and I gotta say, they're not too shabby for something off of Amazon. And little cheap Chinese brushes, but they are real Kolinsky sable. They're acting like it. They're doing what they're just like they're advertised on the tin, so to speak. Okay, so let's start. I don't know that we're gonna leave these brown. I want to kind of maybe hit it up with a little bit of this umber brown. I almost feel more like he should have black boots on. We're going to take a look around and see. But I'm definitely going to drop this on here to kind of help us get some tone to it. And if it does turn out they're going to be black boots, I'll probably just do the black right over the top of this brown after I washed it. And let it really get in there. And finish that color off as a black if I decide to go that way. Right now it just needs a little coat of something to help that wash stick, because the wash will not stick very well to that base coat of the primer. Had a bad coughing fit yesterday, and now whenever I cough, my chest hurts so bad, and it makes all the muscles in my back and shoulders feel like they're on fire, and there's like pins and needles stabbing in them. So don't smoke, kids. Don't smoke cigarettes. It's bad. Okay? You end up like me. I should never smoke cigarettes. Bad idea. God, I can't tell if that's his collar. I think it's his collar. He's got this really high-ass collar. Probably about right. The guy's a scumbag in the movie. He's just such a scumbag. He does such a good job of it. That's when you know the movie is good. Is like when the guy that plays the bad guy is really good, and everybody else is really good, and you just appreciate how good they are at being bad. I often think the heroes don't necessarily matter to the story on a movie or a book as much as the evildoer does, the protagonist. Or the antagonist, I mean. Almost like the antagonist is more important than the protagonist. That's what I mean to say. So. Okay. And we got a lot of gold. The guy's got a lot of gold on him. We're going to get real gold, though. Not bronze. We want real gold for him. So we're going to come back to that. Alright. What about Miss Buttercup? She is red. This whole dress is red, and she is blonde. Well, we're going to start from the top on her and come down. So we're going to give her her blonde hair. I'm going to do a yellow ochre underneath this. That's going to be our base, because she's got like super blonde hair. So what I'm going to do is drop this yellow ochre down. And then I will come back with this wash to pick out, to get at the recesses all done. And then we're going to come back over the top of it with the other colors to make it that bright platinum blonde. Because we would definitely want to tone this up. One of the things that's easy to do, or easy traps to fall in with blonde hair, is just painting it all one like a blonde color and then running away from it and being done with it. And that's not... Blonde color is so varied that you really have to work that up. Same with certain types of browns. Certain brown hairs, like, you can't just throw brown on it and call it. You've got to like work the browns up in layers, or else it just looks flat and one-dimensional and cartoonish. Which, if that's what you're going for, then by all means. That's not what we were going for with Miss Buttercup here. We're going to give her a magnificent mane of hair. And that is that. But again, if you're looking for more of a cartoonish look, then you can totally do that. I saw some guy doing oh god, we were talking about yesterday, the cell shading. You do more of that today. Really, really neat. Definitely not my style, but it was super neat looking, because it looked like a comic book as a miniature. And I would assume some people would look at it and think it was sloppy, like it looked sloppy, but it wasn't. It looked that way on purpose. So, it's kind of like Jackson Pollock paintings, whether people like them or not. His splatter stuff is done with some sort of an intention behind it, and there's a thought behind it, and it's set in a certain way, and it does a certain thing, and that's what supposedly makes him throwing paint on a canvas better than, your dog knocking paint over on a canvas or whatever. I don't necessarily subscribe to all that logic, but I do believe that sometimes the design is supposed to be messy, and then it looks good that way. I like, I used to like to draw things by scribbling. Just scribble and make the scribbles go in different directions until it made a picture, whatever picture that was. And it was very messy looking at first. And if you just pay attention to the scribbles, then yeah, it was just scribbles. But if you backed up and you looked at the whole picture, you could see whatever it is I was trying to actually make. The blessing of living with cats. You got cat hairs. Every time you turn around, you find another little cat hair. You're like, oh my gosh, these cats. I do love them though. They're fun. We have 2 kitties. They will probably jump in this video at some point. Well, maybe not this video, but on a video at some point, and they will make themselves known in their cattiness. Cat-like ways. Okay. So there's a little bit of that base. And pick out her face. We're probably going to come back and drop some more ochre in here in a second. But let's get the face started. Watch them make all these dudes look great, and they made her look terrible. I'll be so mad. I'll be like, why'd you do my girl like that? There's no need for that. You made her look. You made her. Did they make her look like a mutant, or is she gonna be okay? It's not looking good. That face is looking a little weird. She looks great looking like this. You look like that. Oh gosh. Making these models isn't easy either. Like, I know. So the guys that had to paint this stuff. Ooh, it's a tank of something. It has been quite a week for sounds, hasn't it? They tried to make her pouty, but they just made her like face like seem swollen. That's okay. She looks good from the front. We just won't look at her from the side too much. It'll be alright. Again, it's also just for a little. Oh, it's too much paint. Gotta get that off before it dries. And I got like a little bump on her head. I should probably take that off. That is probably from casting the peas. My guess is that this is they plastic cast it in a factory. And you can see the line from where they probably did that. I don't imagine this was somebody at home hand casting these things. I didn't really look too much into the game and who made it or anything. I probably should have. That might have been nice, huh? For folks who might want to go find this game and paint these things too. I will try to do that. I'll try to look that up, and I will probably try to see if I can't link that stuff in the doobly-doos. Oh yeah, she looked great. And I was looking at her, and she is even wearing gloves, so she's definitely in her little red outfit that she tried to run off in. Or well, she didn't run off. She got abducted by the 3 lost circus performers, and they were going to murder her on the Gilder frontier and blame it all on Gilder, which was the rival kingdom. If you know your lore, such that it is for a Princess Bride. Get in there. Get in there. Here we go. Yeah. That crimson's going to come through real nice. It's going to look just like we want it. Just trying to get a nice, decent coat of red down on her dress. We're going to come back later and pull out these highlights with a wash, and then another layer of paint to brighten it all up and finish it out. Heating up the highlights, so to speak. This dress, from my research, goes pretty far up on her neck, so we're going to kind of bring that all the way up there. do this, we're starting to see more of where her hair actually is and where her hand is. That's why we're going to come back and do another round of base coating on those spots just to make sure we have it all right before we move on to washes. My goal is to have all the her, Humperdinck, Wesley, and Count Rugen going to wash at the same time. It would make things a whole lot smoother. I wanted to get the 3 circus performers done because I knew I could get them done because I gotta load something into my shorts and my TikTok to keep feeding the machine. So I needed 3 guys kind of ready to go. Guess that means I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with these bases. I suppose I can just paint them black for now, and then if I change my mind down the road, I could always just put something on there. I think I'm getting pretty decent with painting under this little light and in front of this camera. I think we definitely are going to need to get that better camera in order to get the image super clean. But that is that's in the future. Gotta start making growing the channel before we can make those sort of commitments. Speaking of growing the channel, there's my little lead in. Check out the little like button down there, and hit that up, and maybe give me a little subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Could definitely use with subscribings. I hear once you get to 500 of them, they start monetizing you if you've got enough of their other videos going down, and we can start using that cash to buy upgrades. Yeah, I like this scarlet. It's perfect. Or not scarlet, crimson. Perfect for this. And it's the same crimson we used to highlight Andre's boots and redden them up. That exact same crimson. I gave her some junk in the trunk. I had this one subscription. These guys, I won't name any names, just to protect the innocent and the guilty alike. But I had a subscription to a miniature service. And whoever was doing their designs, homie had a thing for giving girls some big booties. It was funny. It got some really cool pieces. Like, they made some really neat stuff. I wish I still could afford to subscribe to them. And maybe if this channel gets rolling really good, we'll be able to afford to subscribe to them again. We can paint some of their stuff. But man, homie had a thing for the badonkadonks. It was it was funny. I think I still have a couple of those miniatures. Maybe we should paint one up. Pull her out and be like, oh, look at this girl, this big old pinup girl and her badonkies. They were listed under pinup girls, so you got your regular miniatures, and then you got this one that was a pinup. Which, the amount of young men who play these games, not surprising. And the amount of older men who play, these kind of games and, have those perversions. That's also pretty common. Yeah. Almost got her base coat done. And that's the thing, working like hour by hour here with you guys on these particular projects. They don't go quite as quickly as my others because I'll spend more like actual time burning down on it, and I don't have to really talk a whole lot while I'm doing it, and But it is really fun. I've really been having a good time trying to learn how to do this as I'm trying to readjust myself again. Get all this going, learn how to paint where people can see it on a camera, which is kind of interesting. Doesn't go the way I thought it was. I thought it was going to go a different way. I thought it would look right straight down and it was going to work out great. But it turns out, no. You really want it to look like you're looking down at the piece this way. It just makes it really hard for me to paint because I either got to try to paint like this, which, oh my gosh, since it's not in focus, that's really hard to do. Oh, I'm not doing too bad though. I didn't make any major mistakes. I wonder if it would do better if I was only showing the one image, and if I took my face off, to where you're just looking at the thing I'm painting. I wonder if that'll help. But then you don't get to see me look over at the camera while I'm talking and being funny. And I don't know. I don't know which is better. I'm just old chef trying to paint some miniatures. And have some fun. Have some laughs. With all of you fine folks who deign to listen to me. Thank you for your patronage. Oh. Alright, and let's see. Wesley's black, done. No. We still gotta do his little flash, and I think he has blonde hair too. Let's see how much time we got left. Oh, 151. That's interesting. Well. Oh. I'm trying to drop him right in the paint. That would have sucked. I think I caught, yeah, I got a little bit of blue on him. That's about it. That would have been really, really unfortunate. I would have been really upset. Okay. Well, we're going to do the same thing with Wesley's hair, because his hair is all the way out. He's not wearing his little mask. See part of his little ear there. Going down his ponytail. Doom, 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 doom. There's a child wandering in the hallway. Which child is it? We're about to find out. That is my oldest child? Nope. That's my daughter. It's hard to tell on the camera all the way back in the other room. She looks like her brother. I only have one little girl. I have 3 boys. And her and Cullen look the most alike so far. Probably should be telling my oldest son's name, but he's old enough now. I think he's already has social media and all that. He's also smart enough not to get into cars with strangers and do strange things. little hair. Alright, there's a little base coat of the blonde. That was a yellow ochre we used, and then we're going to hit up his face. Be good to have these base coats done. Help us out tomorrow. This one we might even just be able to finish him up by tomorrow easy. There's not a lot to do on this guy. He's probably the easiest piece of the whole deal is the hero. Oh. Even got him looking a little weird. Faces they're like really hard to sculpt. You should see where it was when miniature started, how bad it was. They looked real weird. Oh, actually, I think I have one. Hold on. I think I pulled this out. That's the overall Partha. Oh, yeah. That is a seriously old miniature. Seriously old. And so I found him the other day. I was like, oh, wow. Look at that guy. His face looks awful. Like he, like misshapen and nose as long as his arm, and that's where I started working on stuff like that. Anyway, all right. Well, looks like we've got the next floor kind of started for us. We're gonna have to come back and do some touch-ups on those base coats tomorrow, and we'll have to add the washes before we come back and do the highlights. Hello, Tappy Toes. Her real name is Blue. I didn't name this dog. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll come back and we'll get those things done. And if we're really lucky, we might have all of these guys finished up tomorrow. I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm an optimistic guy. So we got a good chance of at least getting 2 of them done. We might get them all done. Who knows? If not, we'll get them done next week. And we'll move on to the next project. We need to figure out if we want to go, do we want to do sci-fi army building stuff, or if we want to go for D&D minions, minions and things. So I have a whole bunch of kobolds I need to paint, and then I have whole sets of armies I need to paint. So for those of you who do watch, please feel free to throw your opinion in the comments. Let us know if you wanna which way we want to go with that next. I got so much stuff to paint that like we're never gonna run out of things to paint. So if we don't do whichever one we don't do now, we'll do later, and it's all good to me. I just I think it's fun to have input. So if you have input, let me know. If you don't care, then I'll figure it out myself, or I'll let Kristen figure it out. Sometimes she just like do this. I'm like. And that works. Anyway, thanks again for coming to see us. Really appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to hit the likes, the subscribes, the all of that doobly thingy stuff down there. Share me around and all those sort of things. And I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 1 o'clock, just like every weekday, unless there's a major holiday, I'll be here painting.